Okay, so the Amazing Atheist did a video today entitled Christians Are Atheists Too, which kind of inspired me to make this one. Truth be told, this is far more based on the title alone than on the actual contents of his video, because although in general I agree with what he said, I want to take this down a different path. So, where I want to go with this is back to the age-old and by now very worn-out argument that for some fuzzy reason that is completely incomprehensible to me keeps coming up. That's right, it's the good old atheism is a religion argument. There's not really that much meat on my counter-argument here. In fact, it's so modest it hardly warrants a video, but I've been taught by now not to assume that even the simplest of arguments will be considered obvious by my intended target audience, so I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway. Theists will often say that it requires faith to be an atheist. And I believe I have finally found a way of phrasing the counter-argument that will get across the gap in perception from atheist to theist. Because let's face it, not too many atheist arguments survive in a theistic worldview, just like not too many theistic arguments survive in an atheistic worldview. So the next time someone tells me that atheism requires faith, or that atheism is a religion, or anything of the kind, my answer will be, does it take faith for you to not believe in shoes? And of course, any deity will work. I only choose Zeus for this particular example because nobody believes in shoes anymore. Zeus has gone the way of the dinosaur, and believing in him is considered by most people to be a rather silly notion. And yet once he was worshipped, with a fervor comparable to that of the most radically fundamentalist theist of our day and age. But any god can be used for the example, except of course the god or gods that the person in question actually does believe in. So if it's a Christian, you could ask about Allah or Vishnu or even Odin, or Wotan, as you native English speakers probably know him. By the way, were you aware that believing in the Norse gods is actually recognized as a religion in Denmark? Unlike Scientology, I might add, and that it's actually possible to get married in Denmark at a Norse ceremony and have it be just as official as if you did it in a church. Personally, I think it's kind of silly, and I have a theory that most people who get married that way are live-action role players. But the fact that the two are on an equal footing is absolutely awesome. Okay, so anyway, back on topic. When asked, does it require faith for you to not believe in shoes, most people will of course answer no. And in fact, I'm betting the house that they will. Because then, all you have to do is ask them to consider why not. And once they figure that out, you can move on to the next god, and the next, and the next. For any theist, there is a virtually infinite amount of gods that they do not believe in. And this requires no act of faith on their part. So why, oh why, would it require faith to add one more god to that list? Yes, this is deeply influenced by Richard Dawkins' by now rightly famous quote, "We're all atheists about most of the gods that humanity has ever believed in. Some of us just go one god further." Of course it is. I'd like to think that in my existence as a human at some point I've had an original thought, but I would honestly be hard-pressed to come up with any support for such a claim. So I hope you'll forgive me for once again taking my inspiration from the works of others. But if you're a theist and you've got this far in this video, do yourself a favor. Think about it.